let's talk about some awesome knitting patterns that were released this March. Hello everyone, Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with y'all today. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about new and free patterns that I found that came out in March. So these are brand new patterns. And today we will be talking about size inclusive garments, and we'll be talking about accessories and things for the home. So stay tuned. We have a lot of fun projects coming up, and I did want to say that all of these patterns are available for free. So you can either get them as a free download or they're free on the designer's blog. So, and of course, I'll leave links to everything below. Let's get started with garments. All right. So the first one is the QueensYarnBoutique Tee, and it is designed by Jordan Proti for Knitting Magazine. And I feel like I said her name wrong, but y'all know me and names by now. So this pattern calls for a fingering weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 30 to 63 inches. And in centimeters, that is 77 to 160. So for this one, you will need a couple of needles. You will need a US 5, which is a 3.75, and a US 6, which is a 4 millimeter. Now, of course, we all have different tension, and so our gauge swatches are going to be different. So, you know, the needle sizes that I talk about today, they can vary per your tension and your individual gauge, but I'm just going to touch on what the pattern designer calls for. Okay, so let's talk about some skills that you'll need to make this tee. So you'll need the long tail cast on, shadow short rows, twin stitch knit, twin stitch purl, and a stretchy bind off. Okay, there's definitely some of those that I've never done before, but I'm so excited to learn new knitting skills, so yay. Okay, now a little bit about this tee. It is worked in the round, top down, and we like top down. And so it does have an eyelet detail at the raglan shaping, and it is finished with a beautiful chevron lace pattern right there at the bottom. I think it is a beautiful way to finish off the garment. Okay, let's move on to our next one, and it is the Woodland Cardigan designed by Amy Gooderson for Premier Yarns. Now this one calls for 1 strand of DK and 1 strand of lace weight. The bust circumference ranges between 34 to 66 inches, and in centimeters, that's 86 to 168. So for the needle sizes, you'll need a couple. You'll need a US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter, and a US 6, which is a 4 millimeter. Also, in terms of skills, you'll need to know how to knit, purl, increase, decrease, add pockets, and seam with the mattress stitch. Also, this garment is knit flat in pieces, and then it is seamed. So sorry if you don't like seaming, but these patterns do require seaming, so get your needles ready. I don't mind seaming, but I just kind of like put on some music, a podcast or something, or a video, and I just get to work. Okay, so the next one is the Castle Hill Tee. And it is designed by the Barocco Design team, and it calls for worsted weight yarn. In terms of the bust circumference, it ranges between 34.5 to 72 inches. So that's a really nice bust circumference range. And in centimeters, that is 87.5 to 183. The needle sizes, you'll need 2. You'll need a US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter. You'll also need a US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter. The skills you'll need to know include knit, purl, making cables, knit 1 through the back loop, and purl 1 through the back loop, as well as the reverse stitch. So I know I haven't done the reverse stitch, and I'm not sure if I've done purl 1 through the back loop. So maybe, I don't know about that one. That's a maybe. But this tee, it is knit in the round from the bottom up to the armhole. So for those of you that enjoy knitting bottom up, this pattern is for you. I'm more of a top down girl myself. you do that, you divide for the back and the front, and then you work the sleeves flat, and then you seam those sleeves. So this one involves seaming and bottom up. So I know some of you all out there enjoy those things. Let's move on. So the next one we have is the Baby Breath Sweater, and it is designed by the Yarn Citizen Design team. So this one, y'all, calls for lace weight yarn. Yes, lace weight. And the bust circumference ranges between 28 to 72 inches, which is just amazing, amazing range in sizes. And in centimeters, that's 71 to 183. This calls for a US 8 5mm needle. And that's so interesting, you know, with like lace yarn, it's so thin, and then you're using a needle that's on the bigger side. So it's going to be nice, light, and airy, and I think perfect for, you know, this upcoming warm weather. And so you'll need to know how to do a few skills. A few of these are new to me, and it includes knit, knit two together, make one right, make one left, the picot cast on, and the picot bond off. I've never done either of those techniques, so something else for me to learn. Now, this sweater is knit in one piece, and it is finished by seaming it under the sleeves and along the side of the body. So under the sleeves and the side of the body. And it's just, you know, requires some seaming there, but I don't think that'll be super difficult. And of course, if there's any techniques that you all are not familiar with, look, there's a ton of tutorials on YouTube for these things. So definitely use that as a resource. Okay, let's go to our next one. And this is the Enid Tee, designed by Asa Bunta for Barocco. And the yarn weight is worsted. The bust circumference ranges between 34 to 70 inches. And in centimeters, that is 86.5 to 178. This needle size is a 4.5mm, and the skills you'll need to know include knit, purl, make one right, make one left, wrap and turn short rows, and slipping stitches. And so basically the body is all worked in one piece in the round to the underarms, and then you divide for the back and the front. And then after you do all of that, your shoulders are shaped using short rows, those wrap and turn short rows. And then I love the little ties on the side. Now, one really cool thing about this pattern is it is a knitting pattern, but the ties are made from crochet. So you get to use two different skills in this one, and that's so cool. Okay, so another thing that's really cool is what I'm wearing. I've been wanting to show this off. I love this tee. It is so cozy, but like airy and just really nice. It feels really good to wear today. But this is the Rosemary tee that is designed by Ashley Lillis. Now, I've done a video all about this t-shirt, you know, at least several months ago. But I will leave that link below, and I'll leave my Ravelry page below so you all can check out my notes and stuff. But yeah, beautiful tee. Definitely go check out the video. I'm trying to think. I used Drops Big Merino. Yeah, I used this yarn. And you know what? If you want like the sizing and all that stuff, check out the video or my Ravelry page, because I go in depth with this. But it feels amazing. It is pilling a little bit, but nothing like out of control or anything like that. But it's so drapey and it just feels really, really good. Let's move on to accessories. All right, y'all. The first one we have is the Stockinette Bandana, designed by Anna Barlett of Brooke Willow Knit on YouTube. Some of you all may be familiar with Brooke Willow's or Anna's channel. And so this bandana pattern is really interesting. So in terms of yarn weight, it's designed for any gauge. So you can use whatever yarn you want. You can use sport, you can use worsted, whatever yarn weight you want to use, you can. In terms of the sizing, it is easy to adapt the sizes for this bandana, so you can customize it. And of course, the yarn that you choose is going to determine the size as well. And also in terms of the needle size, You can use whatever needle size you want. And what's really cool about this pattern is that it is knit sideways. That is so fun and different, right? So it is available as a free YouTube tutorial. Now, if you're more of a written pattern person like myself, if you look under the description box of the YouTube tutorial, she has written out the instructions, so you can simply look at that. But if you're more of a visual learner, or perhaps you don't know how to read knitting patterns, then she has a YouTube tutorial as well. So, and of course, there is a Ravelry page that links the YouTube tutorial. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And this is the Penguin Beanie designed by Janet Carrillo. Oh my gosh, this is so stinking adorable. And it calls for worsted weight yarn. And the sizes comes in child, teen, and adult. So everybody in the family can have this adorable hat. And I just think like the whole family would be so cute in this penguin beanie. I think it would make like really nice family pictures. But the head circumference ranges between 19 to 23 inches, and that's the full head circumference, and that's 48 to 58 centimeters. And the needle sizes are a US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter, and a US 8, which is a 5 millimeter. So in terms of skills for this pattern, it's super simple. Knit, purl, knit two together. Simple. You all got this. And the pattern does come with instructions on how to add that penguin detail. So if you're familiar with like intarsia, like you can actually knit the penguin while, like you can knit the penguin design while knitting, or you can do duplicate stitching. And this pattern actually gives you instructions on how to do either method. So I love that. I think that is wonderful. Okay, let's move on to our next pattern, and it is the Simple Stockinette Scarf designed by Gianna Mueller for Purl Soho. So I love Purl Soho patterns. I feel like they're very simple and classic, and I really like that. So this one calls for 2 strands of fingering or 1 strand of DK weight yarn. So it does come in 2 sizes. The scarf size, the finished dimensions are 10 inches by 72, which is 25 by 183 centimeters. And then you have the wrap size, which is 18 by 72 inches long, or 46 by 183 centimeters. So of course your scarf is going to be longer, and I think that's going to be really nice. You probably could wrap that around once or twice, so love that. And also it's a very lightweight scarf, so I feel like it would be great for the springtime. And I think it'll be really, really good. So especially like with all this pollen going on, it might be nice to have a little scarf that you can, you know, put over your mouth and your nose when you go out, because whew, y'all, the pollen has been something else. Let's talk about patterns for the home. The first one we have is the Notepaper Blanket designed by Amanda Kafka of the Crafty Jackalope. Say that 10 times. And this calls for a bulky weight yarn. The final dimensions for this blanket is 46.5 by 62.5 inches. And in centimeters, that is 118 by 158.75. This needle size is a US 8, which is a 5 millimeter. And the skills you'll need are really simple. It's just knit 1 front and back, knit 2 together, and slip, slip, knit. So if you can do the knit stitch, you can definitely make this blanket. And the pattern, it uses garter stitch, striping, and intarsia. And I love that notebook paper design. Like, that is just so clever. I haven't seen it before. Of course, that doesn't mean that there's not other patterns that maybe like it, but I just know that this is like my first time seeing it. So I think that's pretty awesome. Let's move on to our next one. And it is the Color Study Blanket designed by Laura Ferguson, who is the original designer. And then it was updated by Hiroma Glover. And this is for Purl Soho. So it calls for a worsted weight yarn. And it comes in 2 sizes. So you have your crib size, which is 39 by 30 inches or 99 by 76 centimeters. And then you have your throw size, which is 39 by 51 inches or 99 by 129.5 centimeters. It calls for a US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter knitting needle. And for this blanket, you'll need to know how to do the long tail cast on, garter stitch, join colors, and intarsia. So for a lot of these, I did mention like the cast on method and the bind off method, because some of these patterns, they let you choose your preferred cast on and your preferred bind off. So it kind of gives you that liberty. And another cool thing about intarsia that I learned today is that intarsia lets you knit big blocks of color without having to carry the yarn or slip the stitches. And so that's pretty big for me because I have no idea how to knit using intarsia. So that was really cool. And that's another thing I love about doing these videos where I'm bringing different patterns to you, because I research each of these patterns, and so every now and then I'll learn something new that I can pass on to you all. Okay, so the next one is the Big Heart Baby Blanket, and it is designed by Shona Pearson. So this calls for a super bulky weight, which is really nice. It's gonna knit up really quickly, and the needle size is a US 15, which is a 10 millimeter. So big needles, big yarn, yeah, awesome. And so the finished dimensions is 30 by 36 inches or 76 by 91 centimeters. And basically in terms of skills, you're going to be knitting and purling for the garter stitch sections and for the stockinette stitch sections. Ooh, say that 10 times. Stockinette stitch sections. There. Got it. Okay, and also the pattern does call for carrying the yarn across the back of the heart to make that heart detail. But if you know how to do intarsia, you could do that as well. So, as I mentioned, big yarn, big needles, super awesome. And the great thing is, if you have someone that's maybe going to have a baby, or you need a gift for a baby shower or something like that, this would be a really great pattern. It's going to knit up super fast, super fast. Okay, let's go on to our next one, and it is the SLY Stitch Sampler Throw. And it is designed by Ross Rochester of Smells Like Yarn. So this calls for worsted weight yarn, and the finished dimensions are 52 by 64 inches, and that's 132 by 162.5 centimeters. And the needle size is a US 10, which is a 6 millimeter. So, you know, kind of on the bigger size for a knitting needle. And it features 9 sections of stitches that create different textures. And those different textures only use knit and purl stitches. So just looking at the photo, you might think, ugh, this might be a little complicated. But it's not. If you can knit and purl, you can totally do this. It's just the combination of stitches. And I love the textures. It's so cool how the textures change. And I think it would be like a really, really cozy blanket. So beautiful, beautiful throw. Let me know if you liked any of these patterns, and would you make any of these, or today's the last day of March, so have you found any good patterns this March? Let me know, especially if they're free. Share with the class. I would love to know what you have found. These are just some that caught my attention, and so I wanted to share with you all. And also, go and check out my crochet March roundup as well. As you all know, I do knit and crochet. So last week, I came up with a crochet roundup for the month of March. Just sharing, some patterns that I have found. And also, I wanted to say thank you all. Thank you to those who have purchased yarn from my shop recently. I really do appreciate it. Just thank you so much for your support in that respect with my business. Really do appreciate that. And also, pollen is evil, okay? It's in my eyes. It's in my throat. It's in my nose. It's everywhere. Stay safe out there, y'all, okay? Because the pollen is trying to get us all right? Everything is green. Everything is yellow. The cars, the house, everything. So y'all be careful out there. I might have to go out in it later. I'm really hoping I don't, but I think I'm going to have to anyway. So Yeah, but anyway, y'all just be careful with this stuff. I've been inside most of the day, but even I can feel it like in my throat right now. So, yeah, just be careful out there with all of this pollen. And yeah, so let me know what you all worked on while watching, or did you just chill? And I would love for you to leave a comment because I love interacting with you all in the comments. And also check out my YouTube community tab. I'm always asking something over there, and I love getting you all's input. Also, I've been sewing, so that's been fun. This morning I was wrestling with my bobbin case because for whatever reason, like the bobbin thread was getting hung. So I had to take the entire bobbin case apart, put it back together, get the loose threads out of it, put it back together. So that's fun. If any of you all sew, like, you know the struggle. But yeah, so also if you would like to have a bonus video from me each month, click that join button below. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, just thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, bye.